Hey, welcome everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and this is Tabletop Baseball TV. What we're doing here is presenting the 1973 World Series, alternate World Series, or alternative World Series with Nolan Ryan on the Mets, as if the Mets had never traded Nolan Ryan. He's still on the team. He went the first game and he beat the A's by a score of 3-1, I believe, or was it 2-1? I'm not totally sure, but I know he won the first game. This is the second game, and I'm turning this game into a tutorial. It's going to be a 15-minute tutorial or a 3-inning tutorial, however long that takes. It's going to be part one. And we are ready to roll on this. So this is replay baseball. The way you play replay baseball is you roll the red, right, first of all. That's a 5, so that's going to be column 5. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to roll the white, and that is going to be for the batter card. So now it's a 6, so it's a column 5, row 6, and then you're going to roll for the pitcher card, which is a 2, column 5, row 2. So the results, you're going to add up the numbers. So it's a, now I'm going to play this very streamlined, and I'm not going to be adding anything on the pitcher card. It's row 2 on the pitcher card, which is equal to 1. That's all the issues with this game is you got to bounce a lot of numbers around in your brain. But if you're good with that, so then a 6 is a 1 on column 5, and a 2 is a 1 on column 5. So a 1 plus a 1 is a 2. You look on the chart. Now you see that's the thing. Now every result has to go off the chart. So the chart's pretty simple and straightforward. You go to column 5, and you go to number 2. It's a grounder to first base. So I guess it's going to be a 3 unassisted. We're going to write that in. It's a ground ball to the first baseman, Tennis, who's going to take it himself and beats Garrett. Oh, wait, I actually did the wrong side. That's no good. Let's try it again. I got to start on this side. So it's a 5 and a 6. A little bit different now. The result is a 4 and a 5 and a 2. It's going to be a 7. A 7 on row 5. 7 on row 5 is a base on balls. It says, with bases loaded, count as 2 balls. So instead of it being a 3 unassisted, because I started on the wrong side of my table here, I just started without thinking where I was. So it's going to be a base on balls to the leadoff batter, Garrett. Let's go over the lineup very quick, just to add a little bit of flavor to the game. Garrett is going to lead off for the Mets. The Mets are in Oakland. This is game 2. The Mets are up 1-0. Felix Millan, the second baseman. He's batting second. Rusty Staub, the third place batter. He missed the first game. He was injured in the earlier division series. He hurt his shoulder up against the wall going for a catch in the outfield. He's batting third in right field. Batting fourth is Cleon Jones, the left fielder. John Milner, the first baseman, batting fifth. He's the power hitter for the Mets in the 73 team. Batting sixth is Jerry Grote, the catcher. Batting seventh is Don Hahn, the center fielder. Batting eighth is Buddy Harrelson, the shortstop. And batting ninth is Jerry Koosman, the tough lefty. All right, so we did the first player. Let's get to the next player. Felix Millan is up. So let's roll. I'm going to bring out this. All right. So the 3 is going to basically tell us what column it is on both players. So it's going to be the 3 column on both players. Then it's going to be row 3, right, which is a 5 on column 3. And then it's going to be a 6 on column 3, which is a 3. So we're going to add those up. We're going to add the 5. We're going to add the 3. That's an 8. We're looking at column 3. We're going to go here. Column 3 and 8 is going to be a single to center field. So it's a frozen rope to center. And Millan lines one. Let's see. Oh, and I went too fast because there is a runner on first. Vita Blue walked him. So it's going to be runner advance 1 base. There it goes. It tells you. So that makes it simple. All right. So it's going to be runners on first and second here in the top of the first inning. Next batter is going to be Rusty Staub. it's column 2. Column 2. And it's going to be row 4, which is a 5. And then row 4, which is a 2, and that's going to be a 7. A 7 on column 2 is a foul out to the second baseman. Runners hold. It's going to be popping it up is Staub for the first out. F4. Next batter, Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones in 1973 batted .260 for the Mets with 11 home runs. So Garrett takes his lead off second, Mian off first. Oh, and that's foul back, a souvenir for a lucky fan. All right, it's going to be column 6. And then it's going to be 4, which is a 41, and a 4, which is a 3. So 41 and 3 is a 44 on column 6. 44, column 6. Line out, hit to left. And let's see what we rolled on the blue. It was a 4, so that's going to say it's line out, hit to left. It's going to be to center field. Runners advance 1 base on a single. Then it offers you all other extra stuff. Your chance for extra bases, roll 1 die against. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm doing replay baseball 101. All right, so I'm going to line 1 to center, and runners are going to advance 1 base. Bases loaded. So 1 out, bases loaded. So Vita Blues is getting off to a shaky start here in the top of the first inning in the 73 World Series replay. These are actual lineups that were played. Jerry Koosman versus Vita Blue. And it's going to be John Milner. All right. That's a column 6. That's a power column. And he rolls a 6. That's a 10. Uh-oh. And then a 6-2 is a 2. A 10 and a 2 is a 12. And column 6. And a 12 on column 6 is going to be a ball that's lifted to deep left field. Back goes the left fielder, Rudy, to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. So that's a grand slam home run for John Milner, putting the Mets up by a score of 4-0. You get 4 RBIs, 4 little dots. He scores. And Dick Williams is going to go out to the mound to talk to Vita Blue. Rough start for Vita Blue. Holy smokes. Nobody on. Jerry Grody, the batter now. It's column 2. Row 4, which is a 5. And then column 2, row 6, which is a 3. That's going to be a total of 8. On column 2, that's a foul out. This time to the left side of the infield, to the third baseman. Bando's there. 2 outs. It's going to be Don Hahn. Pitch from Vita Blue, the lefty. 5. 6 is a 3. I'm going to ignore the letter for now. And then a 5 is a 3. So you get column 5, and then a 3 is a 4. So it's a 4 and a 3 is a 7 on column 5. Now an E, I believe, is going to be this chart. Action chart E. So this is a potential stolen base. We're not going to steal any bases right now. So again, it was a 3 and a 4 is a 7. And under column 5, that's going to be a base on balls. With the bases loaded, it would be 2 balls, but the bases aren't loaded, so it's a 2-out walk to Don Hahn. Bud Harrelson, 2 out, 1 on. So it'd be a 1. And a 6 is a 45. And then a 1 and a 1 is a 47 on column 1. So this is the thing with replay baseball. You get into the rhythm. So what do we say it was? It was a 45 plus a 2 is a 47 on column 1. And that's going to tell me it's a strikeout. There you go. And that's going to retire the side. But 4 runs on 3 hits. 4 runs, 3 hits on a walk. Big hit being the grand slam home run by John Milner. Holy smokes. And the Mets are up 4-0 in the bottom of the second. All right, so now we're going to go to this side of the table. And it's going to be Bert Campaneris leading it off. So it's a 2 team. Column 2, 19. And it's a fly out to center field. Right there is Don Hahn, puts it away. Joe Rudy, one of my players, up next. So 1. Oop, and that was a 3. Put the 3 there. 3 is a 10. Then a 1 and a 3 is a 12. So it's a column 1, 12. And that's a single up the middle. Ground ball and through into center field for a base hit. 1 out single. 4 Rudy, he's on at first. Next is Sal Bando, third place hitter. 13, column 1, single up the middle. Runner advances 1 base. So back-to-back singles for the A's. Next is Reggie Jackson. Here's the pitch to Reggie. Column 4, which is a potential error column, with a 1 is an 11. And then a 1 is going to tell us the first baseman. And that's John Milner. So we're going to look at John Milner's defensive number. Jesus, knocked everything over. My goodness. All right. Let's look at John Milner. First base is a 3. Remember, it's a 3. And it was a 4 on a 3 and 11 is a 14. 14 with runners on first and second. Column 4. 4. We have to go back to now. You could have all these numbers written down, so you don't have to keep going back to the card. I do it the lazy man's way. So it's a force out at second base. So this is the simple part of replay baseball. It tells you what the base running result is. So it makes your life way, way easier. It'd be a 3-6. That is Milner to the shortstop Harrelson, and there's no throw because going in hard is bad. It's a fielder's choice, and it's runners on first and third with 2 outs now for Koosman. And who's coming up? It's going to be Gene Tenace. All right, here's the pitch, and it's going to be column 5. A 5 is a 20, and then a 6 is a 4. That's a 24 on column 5. Let's see what that becomes. 24 on column 5 is a base on balls. And it tells you to go to the M chart, which I'm not going to do right now because I'm just playing it straight. So that's a walk. That loads the bases. So Gene Tenace shows some patience and manages a walk. And it's Jesus Alou, one of the Alou brothers. Here's the pitch. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Pitch from Koosman. It's going to be a 4. That could be trouble. A 1 is a 1. And then a 2 is a second base. We got to look at the rating for Mian. Mian at second base is a 2. So a 2 plus a 1 is a 3. Under column 4 with the infield back, it's going to be a ground ball out at first. So it's going to be a 4-3 put out. And that, my friends, retires the side. So there's going to be no runs, 2 hits, and we go to the top of the second. Jesus Alou grounds out with the bases loaded, and we move over to the Mets, and it's going to be Jerry Koosman. We're using the number 1 pitcher hitting card for Koosman. Here's the pitch. That's a 1. Then we got a 3, which is a 3. And then a 1 and 2, that's an automatic strikeout. From 2 to 6 on columns 1 and 2 is an automatic strikeout. All right, so the lineup turns over, and it's Wayne Garrett. That's a 2. Column 2. A 5 is a 5. And then a 1 is a 1. That's a 6. Strike 3. Vida Blue blows a fastball by Garrett. This inning's going super fast. Felix Millan with 2 outs. It's a 5. And a 6. It's a 1. And then a 5 and a 4. It's going to be a 5. Column 5. That's a ground to the third. Now here's what I was talking about. Column 1 and column 2. 2 to 6 strikeout. 2 to 6 strikeout. So that's easy to remember. So it's a ground ball to Bando, across the diamond, and throws out Millan, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. This time, easy inning for Vida Blue. Vida Blue in 73 had a 3.28 ERA, was 20-9. And we're going to move over to the Oakland A's side. It's going to be Ray Fosse, Dick Green, and Vida Blue. I got the dreaded pulsations, which forced me to do all kinds of manipulations here. And it forces me to move my cards, my camera, and sometimes it improves, sometimes it doesn't. It's a little bit of a drag. Sometimes there's a lot of white. All right, so let's go here. Bottom of the first, Ray Fosse. Bottom of the second, Ray Fosse. So that's going to be column 3, and it's going to be a 5, which is a 12. And then column 3, which is a 13. Column 3, let's see what that is. Column 3, 13. That's line and caught by the shortstop, Harrelson, L6. Dick Green is next with 1 out, bottom of the second. 2. Row 6, which is a 55. Okay, it's a 55. And then a column 2, 6, it's a 59, 58. 55 and 3 is a 58. Column 2, let's see what that is. So it's looping line drive to the outfield. We're going to look at the blue. The blue was a 6. Looping line drive to the right fielder. If the outfielder's defensive rating is higher than the Rays number 55, the Rays number on 55 was a 3, and Reggie, not Reggie, but Staub in right field is a 1. Okay, so Staub is a 1. So let's look at the instructions. In this case, I got to read the instructions, right? It's a 2-6. It's a 58. Column 2, 58. And it was the right fielder. Okay, if the outfielder's defensive rating is higher than the Rays number besides the 55, he has made a fine running catch for the flyout. Runners on second and third advance. Okay. So let's reread this. If the outfielder's defensive rating is not higher than the Rays number, the ball falls in for a single. Okay. So the ball is going to fall in for a single, a 1-out single for Dick Green. He's on at first. Next is Vida Blue. All right, Vida Blue is going to hit away. So that's going to be a 6. And a 3, which is a 36. And then a 6, 6 is a 4. That's a 40 on column 6. 40 on column 6 says 37 to 41 is a strikeout. So blue, down swinging. And that brings the top of the order here in the bottom of the second. This is a tutorial, replay baseball tutorial. 101, this is the foundation, the basic. And after that, as you go, you add intricacy by reading the little paragraphs and looking at the annotations. They have all kinds of numbers and plus signs and stars and letters and all kinds of things that you can add as you go. Right now, I'm not playing any of that to start you off. So there's 2 outs, runner on first, and Bert Campaneris. Campaneris is a 5 column, and the weight is for the batter. It's a 40, and then a 5-1. It's a 41. 41 under the 5 column. It's a hit by pitch. Campaneris is plunked. So hit by pitch. Campaneris on at first. And I'm sure that Koosman did not mean to do that. Now with runners on first and second, Green is at second. Campaneris is at first. There's 2 outs. It's going to be Joe Rudi. 3. Okay. A 1 is a 4. I'm going to ignore the shaded information. And then a 2 is a 1. So a 4 and a 1 is a 5 under column 3. And that is going to be a short fly out to left field. And right there is Jones, makes the catch, and that ends the inning. But it's no runs, 1 hit, and we go to top of the third. Okay, it's Vida Blue against Rusty Staub to start off the top of the third. This is the last inning of our tutorial, part 1. It's going to be a 4. And then a 4, which is a 2. This is usually the defensive column. And then a 2 on blue is a second baseman. So Green, what was Green? Let's see. Now, these should all be written down. I did not write them. I'll write them down. 156, for example. Green would be 1, and error would be a 56. He's a 1, so that's a, what was it? A 2 and a 1 is a 3 on column 4, and that simply says grounder out of first. So it's going to be a 4-3. 4-3 put out. Staub is out. Cleon Jones is next. And that's going to be a 2, column 2. Row 3 is a 16. And row 3 again is a 2, so a 16 and 2 is 18. 18, column 2 is a fly out center field. Right there is Jackson playing center field. Settles under it, squeezes it for the out, 2 away. And now it's the hero of this game. John Milner hit a grand slam home run in the first inning. It's a 6. Uh-oh, got a chance for another one. A 1 is a 16. And a 1 is a 2. That's an 18. So it's 16 plus 2, 18. 18 on 6 is going to be a deep fly to left field. Back goes Rudi to the track and makes the catch, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits. Milner gave it a ride, but did not have the carry behind it. I'm going to switch over to the bottom of the third. The A's are bringing up Bando Jackson in tennis. It's a 5, column 5. A 1 is going to be a 4, and then a 1 is going to be a 1. So that's a 5 total, column 5. And what does it say? Grounded to third base. And then there's additional instructions, but we're not doing that right now. I just want to show you the foundational, the basic, how simple it is to play this game. And you get into a rhythm once you get going, and you know, it gets 3, so it's column 3. A 5 is going to be a 3 on Jackson. So remembering that 3, and then column 3 and a 1. So, and that's a +1. So the 3 plus 1 is a 4 on column 3. And a 4 is going to be a short fly ball right field. Racing in is the right fielder, Alu, and gets there. Oh, I'm sorry, the right fielder is Staub. He gets there for out number 2. And it's going to be Gene Tennis with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. So Koosman checks in for the sign. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 3 column. A 4 is going to be a 57. And then a 3 column 2 is going to be a 1. So a 57 plus 1 is a 58 on the 3 column. See what happens. It was what did I say? 57 plus 1 is a 58 on the 3 column. And that is going to be rare play. Ah, this is interesting. Okay, rare play, straightforward. I'm going to use that die. It's a 2. Actually, it says roll 1 die. Okay, let's roll 1 die. Actually, we'll leave that there, so we don't want to mess with the numbers in case we forget what the hell we're doing. All right, so it was a 58 altogether. So we're going to roll 1 die from over here. And let's get a die that we're not using. There. If it's an odd, it says if it's an odd, it's a use 53 to 57, which is a dribbler back to the mound. I don't know if it's even. If it's an odd, go to rare playbook. It's always an odd. I don't know why. Okay, so we're going to go to rare playbook. This is straightforward. And it's pretty fun. I have a pretty nice rare playbook. So the situation is nobody on. So we're going to go to the section where it says nobody out, nobody on. Here's the rare playbook. This is what it looks like. Rare plays and rules. I didn't even know there was a rule book. I didn't even know that was a rule book, by the way. I just realized that now. Okay. I was always wondering, hey, this set doesn't come with a rule book, but it's okay. It's with the rare plays. All right. Bases empty, rare play. Bases empty, rare play. And you got 0 outs, 1 out, and 2 outs. So we're going to roll 2 dice. We're going to do Oakland A's colors. Actually, I should do Mets colors, but it's all right. All right, we're going to read this the darker one first. So it's going to be, well, you add them up in this case. It's a 9. So we're going to go to number 9. Here it goes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rare play, bases empty. Bases are empty. Bottom of the 3rd, 2 outs. So it's a 9. We found a 9 right there. So it says how many outs? No outs? It says right here, number of outs. No outs, 1 out, 2 out. There's 2 outs. Texas leaguer, pop fly to shallow center field. Shortstop, second baseman, center field, all converge. Well-placed, pop fly. If center fielder is rated a 4 or higher, our center fielder is Han. Han is rated a 4. Okay. So if center fielder is rated a 4 or higher, he calls everyone off and makes the running catch to end the inning. Then there's a whole bunch of other information, which doesn't happen because he's a 4. Makes the catch in center, and that's going to retire the side. Great catch by Han. Read it perfectly. Beat the infielders there, called them off. Did what he's supposed to, made the catch. And we go to the top of the 4th inning. So that was part 1. And that took us 30 minutes. 30 minutes, 35 seconds. All right. So what is the score? Mets are up 4-0 in the top of the 4th. And I showed you how to play a little replay baseball. It's a fun game. I have a few sets of replay baseball. I have a lot of sets of their PC game, which is the ultimate PC game on the planet, because it does all these calculations. All these little symbols are already calculated in there for you. But of course, it's never enough. It's never as much fun as rolling the dice for me, because I'm an old school guy. All right. Anyway, this is CP Cards and Dice. This is baseball, tabletop baseball TV, and I hope this was helpful. I'm going to do parts 2 and part 3 to continue playing this, and you can watch the game and see if the Oakland A's can come back in this game. Take care.